Hi, this is Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you've joined me today. I'm coming on today to share some works in progress with you. I have one fully finished item. I'm going to talk about my plans for tomorrow, which is New Year's Eve, or it might be today by the time you see this. I'm participating in the New Year's Eve hashtag NYE 12x12. And a few other things I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to start with my fully finished item. First, I should say this is a channel about cross stitch primarily. If you go back a few years, you'll see lots and lots of videos on paper crafting. I have a lot of tutorials and other fun things there. But these days it's primarily about cross stitch. So I'm going to get started. I have one fully finished item. It is Christmas Tiny Town by Heart in Hand. And I love the tiny towns. This is my second one that I've finished. This is stitched on, it's called Touch of Pink, 32 count linen. I don't know what kind. I got it at my local needle workshop. And, sorry, it's in my frame by Chantel, who's 141 Design Company, which is hard to pick up and show and have it all work right. So I'll show it to you this way, and then I'll take it off and show it to you. Let's see. So this is it. It's in a stand. And I put these on with a magnet so I can change them out. This previously had Halloween Tiny Town. And I'll take this off and show it to you up close. It's kind of hard to see the color of the pink fabric. It's really pretty pink in person. I used the called for threads. It's Weeks Dye Works and Classic Color Works, except I didn't like, it had two reds in it and I didn't like either red. So I switched them out for one red, and the red I used is Turkish Red by Weeks Dye Works. So this is my Christmas Tiny Town. I put this fun lace that I like to use on lots of things, and then I have this green print behind. And that's it. It goes on that stand. So that was fun. I had it finished, and I thought if I'm going to film a video, I should fully finish it. So I went ahead and did that this morning before filming. I have several projects I've worked on since the last time I filmed. I think it's been 2 weeks since I filmed. I was going to do a video last week, but we had an ice storm, which meant my husband was home, and our house is tiny and it's very hard for me to film a video when I'm not home alone. It's hard enough here with just the dog sometimes. So one of the things I worked on this week was, this was actually a new start. This is stitching. It's a Mill Hill Buttons and Beads kit. I started this yesterday. And I'll tell you the reason I started it in a second. Oh, I forgot my board. This is a really big board, but it's the only one I have. So there's my tiny little start. Started right in the middle. Yeah, I'll wait until I'm done with my whips to explain why I started that yesterday. The next one I worked on is Prairie Schooler Christmas Eve. I love this picture. Hold it full first. One of the floss tubes that I watch is Running with Scissors, Stitching with Jane and Julie did this. She finished it on a wooden block, and it was amazing. So I was trying to hurry up and finish this one so I could do that at the end of the year, and I'm kind of done stitching Christmas, so this won't be finished this year. But this is, let me show you, I need to fold that. This is how far I am. I got a good bit of progress on it because when I picked it up, I only had the reindeer's back legs is all I had on there. This is 14 count fabric flare from Fat Quarter Shop, and it's the snowflake fabric. And I really like this on it. I saw somebody else do it and I really liked it. This is all the called for colors. So I'll have fun. I'll probably do Christmas in July this year, maybe. Sometime this year Christmas will come out. And I'll work on that again then. Another thing that I had going this year, a very little bit, of is Rudolph Sampler by Little House Needleworks. I really like this, and I put off starting it for a while, so this one also is a tiny little start. And I am stitching this 1/1 on 25 count mushroom Lugana. This is my first 1/1. So that's my tiny little start, and it is tiny because it's 1/1. And I didn't get as far as I wanted on this one either, but that's the way, excuse me, that's the way life works sometimes. The next one I pulled out, I think I have some other Christmas, all the other Christmas stuff I did, I think I finished. I did a bunch of ornaments and stuff like that that I've shown in previous videos. The other day I was wanting to pull out something I hadn't worked on for a while, so I pulled out Love Family Home by Little House Needleworks. This was a stitch along, kind of, maybe not really, with Fat Quarter Shop. It was a special deal. You could only get through them, and it came with floss. So I started this last summer sometime, or earlier this year. And this I am stitching on 18 count, and the fabric is, it's called Khaki, and I got it on Amazon earlier this, or whenever I started this. That's how far I am. I'm working on the house. This one might get put away for a while now that the year is over and I have other things that I want to work on. And then the last one that I've been working on is English Sampler Berries by Erica Michaels. I'm doing this one. So I have a little bit of progress on it since the last time you saw it. Get my board again, as you can see through this. This is 32 count. I think it's called Blush, maybe, from Fat Quarter Shop. And it's got the little white dots on it. So this one I want to keep out because I have a group of stitchy friends who want me to do a strawberry, and this, so I need to finish this. There's some other strawberry patterns that I love also, but I'm starting with this one. And it's going pretty good. I just keep getting distracted by other things, and these colors are not really my colors. So that's it for what I've been working on since my last video. I am participating, as I said, in the hashtag New Year's Eve 12 by 12. I am going to be on Team New Starts. I'm also participating in 2023 in the SYS 2023, which is Stitch Your Stash 2023. And I was able to come up with 12 new starts using things I had in my stash or 2 patterns that were actually on their way to me. And I only needed to buy 10 skeins of floss, and one of them I needed white fabric for. That was it. Otherwise, all 12, it all came from my stash. My last video, I showed you all the projects that I had planned, and one of them was the stitching one, the Mill Hill kit. And after that, I saw Chantel 141 Design Company had this pattern in her 12 by 12, and I have a whole bag of patriotic patterns, and this one I just fell in love with, and so I wanted to start this. It's called Forever in Peace by Sweet Wing Studio. I had never heard of Sweet Wing Studio. They have an Etsy shop that I'll list below. I'll link it below. Also, you can get this pattern on Fat Quarter Shop. I bought the last one of these from her Etsy shop, but I did see it's on Fat Quarter Shop. And I just love this pattern. I think it's amazing. Look at the detail in the, it looks three-dimensional, but it's just done with color. This one I'm not using the called for colors. My patriotic bag has a set of colors in it that are red, white, and blue, and there's some greens and browns in there. And I'm using those. I don't know which ones yet because there's several reds, whites, several reds and blues. And I did, as you can see, there's a variegated brown, like in here. And I found, I didn't have that one. That one was, I think, Weeks Dye Works Driftwood. And I didn't have that, but I did have this from Gentle Arts. I don't know why I have this. It's called Cobblestone, and it is, it's a pretty variegated, just beautiful brown color. So I might be using that for that variegated brown, but otherwise I'm using everything that's DMC. The other thing that I had on the way to me, and so I pulled out something else. I don't remember what it was. I pulled out something else that I showed you in my last video. This kit had been in my cart, on my wish list, with 1-2-3 Stitch for a long time. It was expensive because it was a kit, and I finally had pulled the trigger on it and forgot it was coming when I made my list, my 12 by 12 list. This is called Mother and Baby Giraffe. Anyone who knows me well knows that I love African animals, and I especially love elephants and giraffes. I think those are my two favorites, and I just love this picture. This is full coverage, and the interesting thing is it came with 27 count linen, and you're supposed to stitch it over 2. If I'm doing full coverage, number 1, I don't need to stitch on linen, and number 2, I don't need to stitch over 2. So I changed the fabric. Let's see what I changed it to. Oh, I just changed it to, it's an 18 count cream Ada. That's all it is. So that's what I'm stitching this on. I'm very excited for that. So those are 2 changes to my 12 by 12 New Year's Eve plans. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I have a group of friends. We call ourselves the Stitchy Pals. I've never met them in person. They're in different parts of the country, but we get together once a week and chat. And so we're going to be working on this together tomorrow, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We will have a video. I think we're going to have 2 videos, and I think I have a link I can share. We're going to do 2 lives during the day. One will be at 10:30 Central Time. It's 8:30 my time on Pacific Time. Because we're from coast to coast, we're starting at 9 a.m. So I only have to go till 9 p.m., which is nice. Whoever's on the East Coast has to go 12 to 12, but I'm going from 9 to 9. And we're going to do a different project every hour all day long, and it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. I've been itching to start some of these things that I have. I've been really wanting to start, so I get to start all 12 of them tomorrow. That's going to be so much fun. I think I already said that, so I apologize for repeating myself. The SYS 2023 is put on by Jessica, who's a Sweetwater Stitcher. Sorry, Jessica. And Alicia, her last name starts with a V. I can't pronounce it. I think Alicia might have a YouTube channel. I'm not sure. But the 2 of them started a Facebook group for this, and it's a yearly thing of stitching from your stash. I could stitch for years and only use my stash. I have lots of extra floss. It's easy to change colors on things. And even showing the 12 that I'm doing tomorrow, where I only needed 10 skeins of floss, and I was out of white Ada fabric, and I needed white Ada fabric. So it's going to be an interesting year. I am not saying I'm not going to spend any money, because I get excited about new things, and I'm sure there's going to be new patterns. I love new patterns. But I'm going to try my hardest to cut my spending and to either stitch from my stash, or by the time the end of New Year's Eve gets here, I will have a total of 88 whips. And I love them all. I was recently updating my list, and I really love them, but I have this problem that I am a serial starter. I love to start new projects. That's like my favorite part. So I really want to try to limit myself this year and pull out some of those projects that I love so much that a couple of them I didn't even get touched this year, and a couple of them only got a few days. I am participating in Whip Go. I wasn't going to, but I decided to do it. And I put some specific projects on there, and then I put some categories. So I have Christmas on there twice, Halloween, and patriotic. And for patriotic, like I said, I have a bag of patriotic things that I'll pull out. Christmas, I'll pull out from my Christmas. I have 3 3 or 4 Halloween whips. So I'll pull one of those out, or 2 because it's on there twice. What else am I doing? I am doing whip go. So the 2 that are pulled, she already pulled them before I decided to do it, so I chose 2 I wanted to work on. I didn't get them out though, so they'll be in my next video. I am participating. Jessica, who is Sweetwater Stitcher, and Mrs. Jones Stitches are hosting a Stitch Along for Big Hearted Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. I think I already said I love the tiny towns, and I already had that pattern and was planning to stitch it. So I'll be starting that next week and stitching along with them. What else? Oh, I was going to share with you some of my statistics for the year. I don't count stitches. I never have. I want to stitch and not count what I'm stitching. I have a few things that are in Pattern Keeper, which counts them for me. But I don't keep track of that. I don't need to know that. I don't need to compete with myself in that way. But I did look up my stuff. I keep a whip list, and at the beginning, on January 1st of this year, 2022, I had 45 whips. As of the end of the day on 12/31/22, I will have 88. That's a big difference. I discovered that I started 62 new things this year, and no, the math doesn't match because I've done finishing. I started 62 new things. I finished 29 things, and I fully finished, as of this morning, 16. So these numbers are very interesting. I'm not going to do anything with them, but it was just interesting to me and kind of like eye-opening, because I have several full coverage pieces, and somebody was talking about on a video that I watched the other day, she mentioned how a person she had just watched showed several full coverage pieces and said each of them, it was like 6 or 7 I think, each of them she had completed 1% in that year. And she said, which I never thought of it this way, but it was really interesting, she said, that means it will take 100 years to finish them. And I was like, oh wow. So I don't think I'm going to start, well, giraffes is full coverage. I have more full coverage patterns, but I want to really see progress on the ones that I have. Full coverage is a category on my Whip Go board too. Maybe. But I want to see progress on the ones that I have. So one of my plans for the year is to make sure that every month I touch a full coverage piece for at least 2 days. My Whip Go goals are only 2 days per project, and then however long I want to stitch on them past that. I had some other goals too, and I shared them with our Stitchy group. I'm trying to remember what they were. They had asked about one big whip that I want to finish this year, and I had 4. I didn't get that stuff out, so I'll share those goals. Oh, here they are. One big whip I plan to finish this year. I have 4. One of them is the flamingo pattern that I have that is a gift from my sister. It's still not done, and I need it to go away, so I need to finish it. Heart of Winter by Little Dove Designs. And I just found out, thank you Brenda, Handwork Maniac, there is one of those for every season. I need to finish this one before I even think about looking at those patterns. I have Love on a Limb by Autumn Lane Stitchery. It's half done. I finished the owls, and then the tree hasn't been started. And I have a Jeanette Douglas set of 4 patterns that go together, and they're called By the Sea. I want to finish all 4 of those for sure. There's a ton of other things I would love to finish, but those are big things that I really want to finish. The other plan, one of the other plans I have for the year is smalls. I want to stitch smalls. I have a goal to finish one, at least one every month, and fully finish, because they make nice gifts. And when I talk about smalls, they're things usually that are 6 by 6 or less. These ornaments, this is from Chantel's box. I would call this a small. This Thankful Town is a small. I finished it on this fun little box from Hobby Lobby. This one is Primrose Cottage Stitches, Strawberry Cottage, and I would call this a small. This has some fun beads on it. So those are the kinds of things that I want to try to do one every month and fully finish it. I also have 3 Christmas kits that are ornaments, and each one has 6 ornaments in it. And I want to finish one of those every month. And I think I've made myself some really too big of plans, like all these things. It is a lot to finish in a month. I still work full time, so my stitching time is limited, but they're goals. They're not like the world will not end if I don't accomplish any of those things. But even if I can do half as many as I wanted, like I want to do 12 of each, one a month, but even if I only did 6, that would be okay. Whatever I do will be okay, but it's kind of fun to have goals and see if I can make them. It makes me challenge myself a little more, I think. One other thing I'm going to be doing, and I think I mentioned this in my last video, is I'm going to host a smalls exchange. I haven't put it out there yet because I really want to encourage people to use pieces from the mystery box that Chantel 141 Design Company has for pre-order right now. It's made for smalls. She's shown one of them on one of her videos, and the rest will all be a secret until you get the box. But that's a perfect backer to finish a small on. So that the pre-order goes through January 11th, and they're not shipping till the end of the month. So my smalls exchange, I'll be opening sometime in January for sign-ups, and then the deadline to send them out, I'm thinking I'm going to give a month, maybe 6 weeks. So that's still to come. And like I said, it's what I think of as small as these kinds of things. Anything that the stitching is 6 by 6 or smaller, and it's a fun thing to give somebody as a gift. So be thinking about that. I did post it in the 141 Design Company Model Stitchers Facebook group. And if you have questions about that, you can ask me in the comments below. You can send me an email. I'll make sure my email address is there. And I think that is all I have for today. I want to show this one more time. This is like my favorite and this is a small also. My favorite ever fully finished item. I know I showed this last time, but it's an example of a small. I love this. I absolutely love it. I keep it on my desk. I don't leave it open all the time because of dust. But I'm going to a class at the end of January at my local needle workshop, which isn't actually local because it's an hour away. And I'm going to put my stitchy supplies in there, my little tools, and take that with me. I'm going to one in February also. So that was a lot of fun. I'm also toying with the idea of offering finishing services for these kinds of things. I have made pillows, and I will make pillows, but I really have fun with these kinds of finishes, like this. This was a challenge. It's the first time I've done something like this, and it definitely challenged me to get that piece in there and have it look right. This piece was easier, and the inside of the box was easy, but this domed lid, it was a challenge. But I love the box, so I'm glad I made it. So I'm going to be offering a service doing finishing, and I haven't figured out where it's going to live. If it's just going to be word of mouth and via my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, I'm not sure. But something for people to think about for those of you who don't like to finish. I think it's fun. I really enjoy it. I love seeing the end result. My Christmas ornaments, this is the only one I have left. My last video, I think I showed you the ones from Chantel that she did for me, and I had done one myself. Those I gave away as gifts. This one is purple. I am purple, although right now I can't find any purple clothes in stores, so I don't have any purple clothes, but this one I'll keep. It would take something really strong for me to give this one away. It was a quick stitch. I could stitch it again, but What was I talking about? Finishing. I love finishing, and I want to do it for people. One of these days I'll be forced to retire from my day job, and I would like to bring that in and have it supplement my income in some way. Let's see, what else? I am so excited for New Year's Eve, for starting those 12 projects. I chose my favorite for the first, and it just so happens that I had, of the 12 projects, I have 4 large projects, 4 medium, and 4 small, so that worked out perfect. That was an accident, total accident, but I was glad it worked out that way. The other plans I have is I'm going to keep working on the woodland berry. I want to finish that berry, and then I'm going to start the big-hearted tiny town. I'm not sure. So I have New Year's Day and then the day off after work, off of work. New Year's Day is a Sunday, so of course I have it off. It's also my wedding anniversary. I'm not sure what we'll do, except my husband's planning to cook something special. So of all my 12, which is actually will be 13 new starts because of this one, and my other projects, I have to figure out what I'm going to do from there. Like, what happens to those 12 when I'm done, when New Year's Eve is over? I'm not sure. So we'll see how far I get in my 1 hour per project. Not every project will get a full hour because there will be meal times in there, and I can't stitch for 12 hours straight. I know my body won't let me. So at least some of the hours will have to be partial. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm doing it with friends, which is the best way to do anything. Anything else that I have to share? I can't think of anything. I'll link Chantel's mystery box below, and I will link Jessica's video that talks about the SYS 2023. I'll put my email address below in case you have any questions. And I think that's it. So I hope everyone has a happy new year. I hope you're going to do fun things on the weekend. I have no desire to go out anywhere. And this is the perfect way, my perfect way to spend New Year's Eve. So I'm going to really enjoy it. So thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have an amazing weekend and a wonderful start to your new year. Happy crafting.